so. I hope to see. I hope to see Punishers going to hot drops, going to boot camps, going to camp ruins, going to.
So the question is for this team: do we adjust? Do we play a little bit safer? Do we have a fail-safe sitting outside of the circle, trying to heal up? Do we somehow play more aggressive and try to exacerbate that lead? So that's really a call that Mortal has to make on his team, and that's a lot of pressure. But I think he'll be fine at the end.
If I had to make a guess on this one, which I guess I have to, I'm up here
go for it.
I'm going to say Team Soul really doesn't do anything different. I think they approached this game the same mentality that has made them a fan favorite across India.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they want to do. They've played the tons of these games. They have the experience. They know what they want to do. Round 1 was great. I don't see them going from that. So expect the same thing from in round 2.
Yeah. Round 2, we're going to see exactly the same game. Okay. And it's easy to say this. It's off 20. If you're in the okay, the real
actually, if maybe that would happen with the turns in round 1, because you know we have experiment. These guys, they have such. Knowing that they're fan favorites and everybody's rooting for them, sometimes you can get a little bit, not to say like arrogant, but just like forward in your movement, thinking, hey, I'm going to move in, I'm going to get this early aggression, taking out some kills, and that backfires against you. So I don't see Team Soul in the same position, but definitely that makes sense for a team like the Dreamers.
Sometimes you feel invincible, but you know you're not, so sometimes these invincible plays that you try to do kind of backfire in your face, and it happened for Dreamers. So again, it just kind of, at least that's kind of a learning lesson for them. Again, there's a lot of these teams that we were talking about a while ago that thrive in the chaos. They really want to go for the fights because it lets them evolve. And we're still at that phase where, and again, this is 5 games. We still have 4 more to go, and even though there's like 700 points, maybe you're at the lowest, you're like 70 points, there's like, oh my gosh, like 600 plus that you have to climb up. There's still 4 games that can definitely let you come back to that.
Yeah, my theory has always been that if you can somehow keep your head cool, if you can, no matter how tough things get, you still manage to pull through, and we've seen that it's successful in the international scene. We talk about other esports. We actually have teams that have sports psychologists.
Oh, absolutely.
Sports psychologists that sort of help promote the mental health, help these players get into the right mentality to compete at the highest level. And sure, right now here in India, we are getting to that point. And with this level of competition, of course, mentality plays such a big role.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, right now you have players like Mortal who are captain of the team, an all-star on the team, but also kind of taking on that role as coach, analyst.
That's a lot of pressure.
It's everything rolled into one. And as we do see the esports scene here in India start to develop, you get that peripheral support around that makes a team really something special, and suddenly players get to just focus on what they do best, which is play the game. And I love that you brought up that sports psychology tidbit, because it's really important. Being able to keep cool, calm, and collected, focus your mind, and be able to just get right in and do your job. That's perfect.
As you mentioned, it's a lot of work here for the in-game leader. You have to have some sort of level of mental fortitude to, honestly, just playing the game itself is so tiring, it's so taxing, because you have to be always in your peak form, coupled with the fact that you're dealing with a crowd here shouting your name, and you have to live up to that, right? If you're in Mortal shoes, you gotta impress this crowd here, because they're all cheering for you, and the fact that you have to carry your, lift up your team, you also have to frag at the same time, so there's a million things going on. With a sport, like say a sports psychologist or a proper organization that backs you up, it takes a lot of the pressure off the shoulders of the players, right?
But right now it's kind of going to be different because again, a lot of these teams, or again, the scene in India is still starting. So I feel like we're about
on towards Team Arrow here. Arrow just caught out PH. He's going to be dropping out here momentarily. It looks like his team, they can't get out to protect him or get the revive, so that's a tough position to be in.
Yeah, but look at this here from the back. Sniping support here. It's going to be Furky looking to get those taps in. Actually has the VSS. Tries to go for one. Doesn't get just yet, but it looks like he wants to fall off a little bit. Doesn't want to bite off more than he can chew, and I think he's just going to go back to loot here. But talking about what we just witnessed right there, you can't get your teammate up if you're caught behind a flaming car and you have to cross over with Sniper, so you're just going to have to bite the bullet and let him go.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where if you are that player that hung yourself out to dry, you kind of have to know, look, I got to get myself out of the situation, because if my team comes to try and save me, suddenly we're getting wiped. Absolutely. And that's something we will have to correct moving forward.
You can't risk that so early on. So while I think that, yeah, you should be helping out your teammate, it's a tactical move to be able to say, no, let's hold off for this moment. We'll let you go, and then hopefully later on we'll come back when the teams are more injured, when we have a better chance of coming back into this fight. So we'll see how that plays out for them. But in the meantime, we're looking at the experiment here. They're looking to come back and do a little bit better in this match. The Dreamers, obviously, we're looking at them to sort of perform a little bit better because we pegged them as one of the top picks for this tournament here.
Yeah, the Dreamers taking things a little bit more slowly here in round 2. They're going to get all of that loot up. We see Vampire moving forward. Oxy really not having any contention here early on. I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen squads taken out here.
Yeah, I mean, considering how small the map is, you would think that people would be dropping like flies. But speaking of drops, wow, that's a nice pickup. AWM and an AUG. So who's going to be getting that today? That's going to be Gunda and Co.
So the thing about this, though, I love that you get the AWM in this drop, and on Sandhawk, you have the high ground, and if you can play the map, you get really nice angles. You can fight around these rocks. If you get some nice snipes off, you can just put squads pinned down in a position where they actually cannot move.
I mean, if you have the AWM, you need to be using it affirmatively, but also you need to be able to conserve your bullets. If you have the AWM, you only get a certain number of bullets within that care package. So unless you pick up another AWM off of someone who had one, you gotta conserve your shots and make them count, because you can easily find yourself one gun down in a situation where there may be overwhelming odds against you.
B Squad, after their performance in round 1, sneaking around here, just trying to search out some squads, really not finding anybody home just yet, but you can see playing very carefully as they look to move forward.
You know, we just talked about the AWM and how it's such an important gun, a beast of a gun. It is like a one-hit down for the most part here. I mean, especially on headshots, even if you're in the level 3 helmet.
Yeah.
The question being, though, is do you think it's the most preferred sniper for you? A lot of people would argue, like, I'd prefer M24s, but personally, I'm a Car 98 boy through and through.
I mean, I think the thing about it, it comes down to how often you're actually getting your hands on the weapon. And we talked about earlier, sometimes, like, there can be a weapon that's technically not as strong, but if you have the experience firing that weapon off and that's what you're comfortable with, I think it's going to come down to player preference. AWM, though, I'm never going to turn it down.
Yeah, because the AWM, the bullet velocity and the muzzle velocity is so minimal that you just aim and you don't really have to adjust that much. Speaking of snipers, MK14 and the Groza, which we can call the face melter basically here. You can just shred teams with the Groza as well.
Squad melter.
Yeah,
indeed.
Squad melter indeed. But in any case, so the AWM is one of those guns that you really, it's so powerful because it's also easy to use on top of being powerful. But for me, the most exciting sniper is always the Car 98. There's no feeling like landing that pop, that shot when you hit a Car 98 shot. It's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think like not only the feel of the weapon, the sound, it's just
and
like it feels so good, right?
Yeah.
It just feels like you're at home.
Vintage, it's because it's a World War II gun too, so like way back, still pretty cool. In the meantime, Swapnil still just driving around here with his buddies, trying to look for a spot, find some loot here. It's going to be a little bit scarce because, as we know, Sandhawk is one of those maps where you really got to go around and gather those weapons here. I mean, it's not like Erangel, so many spaces to go to. I mean, inevitably, you're going to run into somebody because of the size of the map here. Just like what we're seeing now, team number 2 right on the cusp of coming across team number 3.
Yeah, too easy for moving in here.
But a member of God's, hold on, that thought.
Oh my goodness, Soul taking a lot of damage. RIP trading blows back and forth. They got to reposition, kind of turtle up here as well. Looks like 12 Ryan getting a knock as well as Sock. Some damage coming through, rapid firing. He's going to move back, wait for somebody to potentially move into the building as that door was closed up here. These guys, there's really nowhere to go. You see Psycho down low. Has the position to fire up. There's people above and below.
They've already lost a player and another one is down, so things are not really looking so good here. Fortunately on the side, Lion King does actually manage to get his buddy up, so there's 4 people down, but they still have to push on to RIP. And RIP, they placed really well last game, so they don't want to come out early on this one. They need to be able to survive somehow. I wouldn't be surprised if they backed off. That might be the smart call to make here.
Yeah, that's always a tough decision, right? Like, you take a little bit of damage, you know, I don't have that angle, but if you don't have a retreat, there's really nowhere to go for you. If they feel like they can squeeze out of there, maybe they have some mobility around them, yeah, that's an option.
Smoke grenades are going to be popped off here just to see if they can maybe find a way in or out, actually, preferably. Does have an angle, but down that to open him up, though. No one to get a refrag, though. No one to go in and, punish that peak, though.
Yeah, Ninja actually going to pick up a little bit of loot here, cleaning up from their previous kills.
He was our MVP in the last game. 6 kills from him.
Oh, good reason.
Yeah, for good reason. See if he can keep this ball rolling. But at this point, he's lost a number of players already.
Tries to get the fire. Oh, Ninja. Beautiful Lightning with a shot up. Ninja almost getting taken down. Psycho from Clan Soul firing back up. Almost able to get that damage.
Somehow managed to survive that spray, though. And the Psycho actually does manage to hang on by the hair of his chin, and he's still managing to get up that hill, so he's going to be okay here, but actually starting to drop members. RP have already lost one here, but now's the time to capitalize if they need to. They need to be able to go in now. Everybody is low, so they should be able to make that call. Okay, throw the smoke. That's a spray down, getting caught off behind the tree. Has to find an angle, needs to isolate this 1v1, and instead, but it's actually going to be Max.
Oh, Yaga taken down once again back over to this little cluster between RIP. And he's going to go ahead and try throw nades into the building here. Psycho once again trying to peek around the edge. It doesn't quite have the angle, but they know where Rapid's hiding right behind that tree.
Yeah, and this is not a good sign right now. They've lost 2 players, could be 3. One is down. And if they don't act now, heal up and make a decisive move, this could be all over so early for them. I mean, so is Lyko, the new guy. We've talked about him again. He really has to come into his own and prove, make his moxie, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Like, when you come into a team, you have to make your bones. But, your team has expectations. You have to fulfill your role first and foremost before you start to make any fancy plays. And right now, Squad 99 in a tough position.
Yeah, if there's any time, it's got to be now for, for Psycho. One more down on that side as well, so it's really a tough call here. RIP, despite the fact that they lost one player, they managed to turn this fight around here.
We're going to go ahead and start to check out a few other teams on the map. This is Funky Monkey, one of those teams that kind of flies below the radar we didn't talk about too much, and you can see they're taking it a little bit more slowly here in round 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally fine. It's a little bit earlier on, but it's actually some of the other teams that are really lighting up the server at the moment here, so let's see how Funky Monkey is able to adapt here. They want to be able to make a bigger statement. You never want to be one of those guys that just sort of skirts around the middle area, so they're waiting for their time to be, okay, we'll be able to take this one, but
looks like Mortal's actually somewhere on the map got a whole bunch of drops, taking down a few, like an actual entire squad there. But currently just over at RIP Official, pinned down over here, looking once again for that angle, not able to find it. We're going to see as the circle does start to close on in, teams, once you get into that situation where you're kind of in that standoff, there's nowhere to move, it's going to be mostly that circle or a third party that's going to force you out of your buildings.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to be able to, be forced. Your hand never should be forced. We talked about how Team Soul played that last game, and Team Soul was always, as they said in the interview, they wanted to be always 20% in the circle, never be caught off guard, never have to fight outside of the circle. And really, at the end of that, they were able to pull it through here. So look at the circle. It's so tiny, it's so small, and yet we still have 18 teams up.
I mean, there are so many angles that you can kind of hide from. Oh my goodness.
AWM shot,
Look at the shot from downtown Rebel, not able to land it just yet, but he has nice high ground advantage here. Team 2 Easy 4 looking for that aggression down onto, you got Team 3 as well as 19 in the area, out in the open here. Yeah. He's going to be able to get that shot before he gets on the rock. Fires, does not land it.
Yeah, the timing wasn't there for him on scopes, unfortunately, at the worst time now. Sees one running through, not going to be able to get the vision here, but snaking in the grass here, hoping to find somebody. His teammates are all down or dead.
Yeah, Team Arrow really just kind of moving forward in a super careful type of position. It looks like the Punishers and Maximus Alpha eliminated thus far. I'm not sure that they actually saw him there.
Yeah, the M249 does actually get picked up here. Oh, nice
big damage. Riser knocked.
Getting him off guard right there, but for this team here, Akiran does have to heal up. the position isn't looking good for him as they are right beside each other here. Actually, Team 10 right in front of them. So they're going to be having to make the move, and now would be the best time to be able to do that.
Yeah, they're just using TPP around the edges here, hugging these walls, peeking around. And if they don't see someone, they don't like the positioning, they're not going to make that move. But as you see, a circle starts to close in, it's going to force their hand. Yeah. Look at the south, southeast, southwest area of this map. I mean, all these teams are going to converge. It's going to be a bloodbath here momentarily.
Okay, this is what's going to happen. Somebody's going to go to Quarry, and Quarry is going to be the next area that we're going to be talking about here because it is dead center in the circle of the map. Question is, do teams want to fight for this important piece of map control here? It's dead center, there's a lot of cover in it, you want to go for it, but the question is, do you want to come in early, do you want to risk it, or do you want to go in late? So it's really a big decision because of course if you come in late, the chances are somebody's already there, but you're safe from getting intercepted here.
Let's go, Mortal. Trying to find that position to fire out. There's multiple squads moving on in here. This is where Team Soul shines. Rebel firing uphill, got the damage.
Beautiful spray down, actually makes the connection, but the rest of the team, the Cavalry, is still here, waiting for that bait, trying to get that shot in, but he's going to get down, not going to make that connection, he's going to be dropping himself, so that's another down as well. The rest of the team, where's the backup? They're going to drop as well, so Proning in the grass, he has to make something happen. Shroudy is in a very, very dire situation.
Yeah, not a position I'm too jealous of now. Mortal, once again, he can see a lot of players moving out through the woods here. He's going to go ahead and get up from the prone position, firing down. Looks like he has the angle, but he just dropped. Dude drops down right behind that fence and that cliff edge there.
Okay,
but they're going to have to move. They have to move because of the circle now. This is going to be easy pickings, like shooting fish in a barrel for Mortal.
This is bad for Mortal, actually. He's pinned. He needs to get out.
Oh,
he's
no!
Down.
Mortal's been dropped, and he's taken down. Huge play to go ahead and take Mortal down. That was FaZe coming in from Team BSUD.
This is what we were talking about. Mortal was in a great spot for the first couple minutes, but the fact that the circle wasn't on him, he had to get out. And the fact that he couldn't get out means that he was instantly sprayed down. But anyway, here we go back into the action here. Team number 8, that's Soul. They have to find a way to recover. They lost their in-game leader, but still, we can still feel his presence. But
well, you know, also the thing is he's been dropped down, but he's still there ready to captain his team, give them advice on how to rotate. Queen moving in, getting the drop as well. Huge plays from Backfromseverny. These guys are just lighting each other up now. There is very few places to hide on the map in this moment. Teams converging. Team in one building over to the right. It looks like Zoro almost dropped down from Bitlove. Bitlove taking damage from the building out of Team 18 as well. Zoro pinned down.
Funky Monkey's managing to hold on somehow, but no one's really taking this engagement. Now it's time for Zoro to make a move. Can he actually get the Bandidos? See if he can find a way to come back into this. They're pinned down into this village, though, and as we mentioned, they have to make a move. There are a number of players dropped around that area, and actually it's 3 squads here, so it's 9, I think it's 4, 9, 4, and 15.
Oxy? Is Oxy rushing into the building over here on squad 4? That's Backfromseverny. It looked like Oxy was going to try and make that play in, but it hangs back in this outer little hut.
Yeah, and here we come into the tactical play. Of course, Oxy, they need to decide whether they're going for this or not. And Funky Monkeys, they're also trapped in this position. They do have some angles, but they're trapped themselves, so some grenade work would be absolutely massive at this situation here. A couple of smokes if they have them, but it doesn't look like it's the case here.
Rebel taking a lot of damage. Rebel taken out. This is not looking good for 2easy4.
Squad number 9 dropping as well here. Got 2 people really low on the I don't know if there's any chance to recover them too. So Stealth making things very difficult for this right now. And Team 15 is quickly approaching from the behind as well.
Yeah, this is actually pretty decent for No Mercy. I mean, obviously better than they did in round 1. In a good position. Nova getting knocked down. Not looking good here for Oxy.
Yeah, 1 player down. They can still make the revive, but
Iron Sight lights them up. That's what you like to see.
Yeah, you need to be able to make those connections, especially those opportune moments, and that's the beauty of PvP here. Be able to play in that moment, but the circle is now beginning to pressure them. It's live or die here for the moment. See if these can make it out.
Oh, I mean, they have a lot of low players, and now drop down as not very many places to go. Red's healthy. Let's see if Reds can keep teammates alive and possibly even get some revives.
Yeah, but hot on their tails, nipping at their feet. Red trying to get that spray in. Doesn't make a connection. Does get a couple of them low, but has to heal up himself. But from the back line, Zoro, time to shine for him. He's getting 1 down, but they've actually kept, they've actually kept their squad up. Only 40 alive this time
Three
around.
squads converging. Squads 14, 13, and 7 now moving in. That's Immortals moving in from the east side here. It looks like this is going to be Team FireFrost getting pinched. Can Team FireFrost get the damage and stay alive? They've lost 2 now.
Yeah, and here we are. We've talked about this. Quarry is the name of the game. They need this map control here. So it's going to be a matter of who can control that area, but it's the best.
FireFrost firing. Exo, he's low. Exo staying alive, getting the damage down. It looks like Roger dropping down. Immortals getting hammered.
But look at this. Look at where the
experiment's gone down.
He tried to make a play. That was the perfect time to do it, but he wasn't able to capitalize so much. He got shot from the side in every angle. There were eyes trained at the location of the experiment. That's the in-game leader dropping down for the Dreamers.
I didn't see Viper got knocked out as well.
Now, Immortals here, proning in the grass. Do they know that there are other snakes in the area? And there are quite a few of them. They don't know that they're knocking on each other's doors here.
Everybody's slithering around here, and it looks like FireFrost have advantage at this point.
Yeah, somehow the experiment managed to get up, so he's backing up and actually managed to find himself a kill. But no, it's not today because the Dreamers have just been taken out of the situation, as well as Immortals. So it's the end of the story for them. We're going to be left here on this ridge, and here we are again.
God's Rain!
God's Rain on top of the mountain. Can they make this count? Now, Mortal is out of the equation. How will this affect the rest of the game here?
I mean, honestly, this feels like a great position for God's Rain. If they can land shots, they're going to do great. Now, there is damage coming in from multiple angles right now, but they're firing right back down the hill. God's Rain doing good work as Legend gets taken out.
Living up to their namesake, just going up from above and taking down people. Fortunately, no fall damage there from Rebel. He doesn't drop, but Ninja might be able to get down somebody.
Ninja looking for more. I mean, this guy MVP of round 1 for good reason. Potential MVP here in round 2.
How is he still alive? He's taking fire from every angle, and now God's Rain looking to capitalize on this. Dropping down, risky move to be able to heal up nicely.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if squads did see him drop down there. It's a risky position, but it's a move that he had to make.
Yeah, now God's Rain, they have the information. They know where one is. Just spray down, nice connection. So they know that Ninja must be in the area because he just recovered somebody. So Ninja, can he be a Ninja and somehow manage to get out of this alive?
But KK has scoped up on Ninja. They know exactly where he is.
Yeah, so there's no way out of this. I don't think he even has a smoke to get out, so Ninja might be falling here shortly. God's Rain looking like they're in a fantastic position to close this out for now.
Soul, still 2 members alive on the map. If they can hang tight, stay on the backside of this rock, potentially they might find some pickups as players are forced down into this choke point.
The fact that they're still alive and kicking here, Soul, despite that they're down, but they're not out by any means, they can still take this. But look at this, Soul getting a drop on somebody.
Soul!
Away!
Plays now away, he's trying to move, but getting lit up by God's Rain. God's Rain, absolutely no mercy in this moment. Ronak crawling forward, can't get the revive just yet because there's no cover. God's Rain has no mercy. They're going to move in, trying to close out onto Soul. God's Rain takes out Ronak, only leaving 1 left over here. God's Rain has a 3 versus 1 situation.
Will it be God's Rain or God's Wrath? But it looks like,
winner, chicken dinner. God's Rain, absolutely phenomenal performance. These guys are pumped, and why not in a situation like that?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a series on our hands. God's Rain showing us what they're made of, more like God's Wrath, as they've taken it back from Soul, taken down the leaders of the scoreboard, and I'm thinking they might just be the next first place.
Wow.
Insane amount of work there, God's Rain. Showing that they are definitely not out. They have managed to somehow come back from those situations, and really their ability to pick fights was really the star of that game for me.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, honestly, these guys, they're in the right place at the right time for a good reason. I think Mortal got knocked out early. You talked about that there in the cast. It felt like he had great positioning, but as that circle closed in, suddenly things just turned on him. Soul playing without that in-game leader, things just fell apart at the end.
Again, it was just super unpredictable because in Sanhok, again, it was just super close quarters that in any type of transition that you try to do from compound A to compound B, you're bound to find somebody. It was interesting though that Soul at the very start of it didn't really find anyone, and they still kind of did the same strategy that they did in Erangel.
There we go.
Exactly.
Maybe that doesn't work for Sanhok, you think? Because obviously when we're talking about Sanhok, it's a map that's vastly different.
Yeah.
Probably the direct opposite of Erangel, of course. But in any case, Let's talk about this later on. So for a meantime, we're going to go back to our stage host who's going to interview, of course, with God's Reign.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the winners of match 2, God's Reign! That was an incredible play. That was an amazing play. My question to you guys was, you guys had a very high ground early in the game, and when the circle came down, all of you were on top. Was that planned, or was that something accidental? What was the theory behind that? Or if you don't want to reveal your secrets, we understand that too.
We move along with the zone. It wasn't planned, it was accidental. We were killing people easily because we are used to this rush type of gameplay. And I would like to give a shout out to Twista OP. Twista OP. Shout out to you, bro.
Alright, what's so special about him? Tell us more.
We played with him to, he taught this strategy to us for Sinok only.
Wow, I guess there is a specific strategy for Sanhok. Once again, good job all of you. God's Reign win the match number 2. And at this point in time, we're going to go into a small little break. And then we will see you in no time. You guys can get powered up, have your energy drinks. This is a good time in real life. In real life. I think in real life. See you after the break.
OPPO.
Second game of the series, and we've seen the victors, God's Reign, showing us God's Wrath, and making it hurt for Seoul as they take the first game of their series, their first game, of course. What a performance from them, gentlemen. Let's break it down. God's Reign really came in at the end, showed us what they're made of, especially with their intelligence in terms of their high ground place, and really showed us what they're completely capable of.
Yeah, it was really impressive from my perspective. It just seemed like, once again, I know I said this earlier, but they were in the right place at the right time. Obviously, they had a strategy and knew how they wanted to move through the map. But as you saw, there was always, every single team was getting pincered. You were getting fired from the east, from the west. That really wasn't the case for God's Reign. They never put themselves in that vulnerable position.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is the map, of course, though, because we're talking about Sanhok itself. And when you're in Sanhok, you should be able to expect fight after fight after fight from every single direction. God's Reign knew that. They're able to successfully isolate themselves from the rest of the ongoings and finally go into victory because they were able to, get those favorable team fights.
Yeah, we kind of get that from their identity already. When through all of these interviews, we get that, again, they like to just be in the competition, be in the middle of it all, and which map best suits that to them rather than Sanhok. And again, like to go back to that, they're the only team who said Sanhok. Everybody else, Aragel, and it showed here in this game too.
It really does. And I think it's really interesting as well. Of course, coming into this championship, there are fan favorites. Like we just know that. Obviously, Team Seoul, the Dreamers, these are fan favorites. But after this event, like how could you not have favorites in God's Reign when you see their performance here early on?
You cannot deny how amazing these people are playing. God's Reign definitely have the stuff of legends, the stuff of gods at this moment, dare I say. And if they continue on this path, I would never be surprised to see the fact that, they might be able to take this home, and we may be able to see them as like household names here in PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they can continue to perform like they have in these first couple rounds, place very highly in this championship. We're going to see these guys with posters, or, fans hanging their posters on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, especially going into these next games. It's so exciting. I mean, it's so unique when we talk about God's Reign. Who the heck likes to play Sandhawk? It's them. And it's unique and it's interesting. And you come into this and you see a lot of different kind of personality within these teams. And it's always,
you really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because, again, of how our format has been created, we're going to shift the gear once again, going into Game 3, where it's going to be Erangel, but now I believe it's going to be FPP.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's go.
FPP, completely different ball game on our hands here, ladies and gentlemen. So when we come back from this discussion, we're going to talk about the MVP first, of course. So MVP up on your screens. Let's take a look at who it is. Oh, well, honestly, I'm not surprised because obviously God's Reign, it's KK. He was an absolute beast. Time and time again, absolutely consistent. We saw it even in the first game. He didn't have the highest amount of kills, but he was definitely able to provide a lot of support for his team, and now he's shining.
Yeah, really impressive performance out of It's KK, deservingly of that MVP here in round 2. Honestly, though, as a unit, God's Reign working together to have all members alive at the very end there, facing off against Team Seoul, I think it really shows actually how strong this team is.
Yeah, so for now, we're going to be taking a short break, and when we come back, it's going to be the third game of the series. It's FPP time, so make sure you don't go anywhere when we come back. It's going to be the third game. Stick around. Right. Oh. Test.
OPPO.
My name is Ayan. I am from Delhi. I play from Team 2 Easy. My in-game name is Rebel.
My name is Siddesh. I play from Team 2 Easy 4 and I'm from Mumbai.
My name is Akash Anandangavne. My clan name is 2 Easy 4. My in-game nick is 2 Easy 4 Akash. I'm from Mumbai.
My name is Viplav Gaikwad. I'm from Pune.
I play from Team 2EZ4 and my in-game nick is 2EZ4 Viplav.
I'm the captain in Team 2EZ4. I give the calls in the close range matters, but the in-game leader is Akash. The sniper is Rebel, and Vipla is an all-rounder player. We have a coordination like we play as a team, but we are like separated like DO players. Means me and Akash are one team, form one team, and Vipla and Rebel are one team. So we gather the information from all the map. So we spot the players and we kill them. It's easy. Whenever we see enemy or we see the map from where the fires are coming, so we spot them before they spot us. That's why we have the most highest skill in game. We must be very careful while taking the calls, where to push, from where to rush. They play very well and they take very well TPP because this game is all about TPP. You must spot your enemy before they spot you. We are like rush players, but in that scenes of tournaments, we have to play like TPP game.
We rely on each other at that crucial moment because everyone in our team is a clutch player and we trust each other. That's why we form as a team. If we are like all dead, Viplav has a skill to clutch it 1v4. We trust him a lot.
Things like this very logical with the movements. Whatever he take the steps, he will minutely move and he will take the TPP, and then he will calculate the players' positions and then he will rush on them.
I would prefer SMG suppressor because it's easy to control.